Hey, here's another section from my recent seminar at Ascend, talking about Copilot and other disruptive technologies, something called planning mode. A few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I was up in Huntsville, Alabama for my first full-day seminar since the pandemic, really. I always have a list of everything I'm going to talk about, so seminar topics here, and everyone gets a copy of the book, so I want to go through the book and figure out the page number for each item. But this is not a VLOOKUP or an XLOOKUP or even a fuzzy match in Excel. It is a really tough thing to match. For example, there's something called fast formula copy, and I need to match that to a book topic called double click the fill handle to copy a formula, right? So you have to know that double clicking the fill handle is a really fast way to copy a formula down, hence fast formula copy. And I knew that this was going to be tough for me to manually match up because there's a few hundred, 123 topics in the all-day seminar. Okay, so we have this brand new thing in Copilot. By the way, how do you like Copilot back up here in the Home tab where it belongs? I finally got that. You can, if it's started down here in the lower right-hand corner, you can right-click and say Move to Ribbon, which is even better than the dock, right? So we can use that to open Copilot. And of course, we want to make sure that we're in Allow Editing. You want to come in here to Auto and choose the highest model that you have. In my case, Claude Opus 4.8. Boy, Brian Jones from the Excel team, he has the newest Anthropic model. He posted it on LinkedIn yesterday. Today's June 12th. I really hope that I get that on Monday or Tuesday because I think it's only in preview for 2 weeks and time's wasting, right? So I'm going to choose Claude Opus 4.8. But then I'm going to go into this brand new thing called Plan. Come up with a plan before editing. This means before you start changing anything in the workbook, I want to talk about the problem. So on that particular day, I sat down and I wrote this prompt. Let's plan this out. I explained how we want to match things up and how fast formula copy should match double click the fill handle to copy a formula. It requires some knowledge of Excel to realize that these are the same thing. And then a complicating factor. The book is a year old. So things like planning mode that just came out recently aren't in the book, right? So you need to be able to recognize, hey, there is no match on this one and we're going to call it new. So I'm going to copy this whole thing. Describe what you'd like to plan, and do you have any thoughts on improving this process? Right, and we'll wait for that answer. Okay, great. It has a clear picture, but it asks some clarifying questions. Where do I want the checkbox? To go here in this A through D, so like is E referring to A through D, or next to each seminar topic in G and H, or both? How do we handle new cases? Right, are we writing new? You're going to write new out here in column H, leave I and J blank. Yep. So I think for 1, the answer is A. For 2, the answer is A. Should each book chapter be matched at most once? That is true. Yes. And then the matching engine. How would you like the actual matching done? The LLM semantically matches all topics now and writes the results directly into the sheet. Or build a helper structure, a scored candidate list per topic. Well, that's interesting, but that's going to take more time. I mean, let's really paint the picture. I'm in Huntsville. It's the morning of the seminar. I'm leaving for the venue, in half an hour. So shame on me for not realizing that this had not been updated, but here we are. And then LLM match plus leave low confidence ones blank. So I'm going to go 1A, 2A, 3 yes. So 1A, 2A, 3 yes. And then 4A. Now, we're still in plan mode, even though I've answered this, right? So it's thinking about my answers. I'll pause till we get a response. All right. This makes me feel better, right? Now we have a list of 6 things that it's going to do. And when I click proceed, we're going to leave plan mode and go to edit mode and let it do its thing. This is the point in that morning before the Huntsville seminar that I just walked away, right? And I let it run. I ran down to the hotel lobby for breakfast or something like that. And when I came back 15 minutes later, I was amazed at the results, right? So we'll pause the video. All right, good. That took, 10 or 15 minutes. It found several that are new. It says that it matched 75 checked, but 76 matched because there was one that reused. Already checked true. Yeah, so we got the check marks here for the ones that matched. All right, so recover unsaved workbooks. Yeah, use default. Yeah, better way to wrap text. Yeah, right. Good. Yeah, it did a really good job of trying to get these in. And so there was a few where I have to go through and manually match them. On that particular day, you know, it was even better than this result here. All right, but that gives you an idea of the new planning mode. It lets you plan things out before you know, let it go. And also, you know, things that I didn't even think about when I explain the problem, it'll come back and ask me to clarify those, right? Yeah, so hey, I think I'm a fan of this new planning mode. Rather than just let it dive in and start to do things to your workbook. You can kind of plan things out, get any clarifying questions, and so on. Well, hey, I want to thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another netcast from Mr. Excel.